Well, hello, Jace. First again, I see. Jace would blush and feel foolish and important. His father would yell out, "He always knows you're coming, elevator man. He watches those elevator lights every day." Then the elevator man would really start grinning, and wrinkles would bloom like there were flowers growing around his eyes. In Jace's world, where people rarely live past 40, the elevator man was ancient. "It's all his fat that keeps him alive," Jace's sister had said. "He can't even see his bones." Well, the fact that the elevator man ate large meals 3 times a day made him seem even more impressive to Jace. Jace loved to watch him eat. He'd keep his eyes riveted on the mouth as chunk after huge chunk of food disappeared into it. He never asked for anything. Nobody likes a beggar. And the elevator man never offered, but that was okay, because the elevator man gave him something much better: stories about the other floors. "Tell me about the 15th floor, elevator man." "Oh, that floor. Well, up there, everybody owns a box full of teeny people. But these people are flat, and the light shines through them, and teeny little men sing songs on guitar, while teeny little women dance, bathed in a golden light." Oh, how Jace wanted a box full of teeny people. He wouldn't keep them in a box. He'd carry them around on his shoulders. Imagine what everybody would say. Imagine what Cat Waters would say. "More stories, elevator man. What about the 20th floor?" The 20th, where they all talk backwards." "Backwards? Well, it sounds backwards to me. And their eyes are slanted like almonds, and their skin is the color of bread." The almond bread people. Hours would be spent this way. The elevator man loved to talk, and Jace loved to listen. The years passed. Jace reached 12 and became a man. And now that he was a man, Jace's father could talk to him about religion. But what Jace learned did not make him happy. The good news was there was a God. But the bad news was God was watching him and judging him every second. And this made Jace kind of nervous about what he was planning to do. You see, along with his new hair, Jace had grown ambition. And it made him a little scared, you know? But most people didn't take Jace very seriously, so most people didn't notice. But the elevator man noticed. The last visit was so uncomfortable, and the last visit had been over a year ago. Maybe he was never coming back. But when Jace was 14, the elevator man did come back, because he loved his cigars. Jace was standing at the front of the crowd, right on the red line when the big sliding doors opened. "Hello, Jace. First again, I see." And Jace said, "Elevator man?" "I step on your claim. I claim I'm the elevator man now." Behind Jace, everybody gasped at his bad taste. The elevator man was old, and as Jace's father would say, when someone makes it to old, he's earned their peace. Now his father shouted, "Please forgive him, elevator man. He's young, he doesn't know what he's doing." But the elevator man just shook his head sadly. Better now than later. And then he looked right at Jace and said, "Jace of the night, I accept your challenge." And then the elevator man stepped out of his elevator. Everybody pressed back down the corridor to make a space. Jace already had his knife out. His hand was shaking, but he managed to keep moving it back and forth like his sister had taught him. Think of the point of the knife as the tip of your nose. If they get past your nose, then they're in your eyes. Jace waited for the elevator man to arm himself, but the elevator man didn't take out a knife. Instead, he pulled out a funny-shaped piece of metal that wasn't sharp at all. "What's that?" asked Jace. "It's a gun," said the elevator man. "What's a gun?" "Well," said the elevator man, pointing the gun straight at Jace's forehead, "a gun is like a knife for an old man." Jace felt like giggling because that gun looked so silly, but he also felt scared because the elevator man didn't seem worried. But he couldn't show fear or weakness, not now. So he straightened up to give the elevator man the first move, because as his father said, the fool moves first. "I'm sorry, Jace," said the elevator man, and he pulled the trigger. There was a loud clicking sound. Nothing happened. The elevator man frowned. He pulled again. Click. Nothing. And again. Click, click, click. Nothing. The elevator face went red. Then it went all white. "Fuck," he said. "I knew I should have got the Japanese one." Well, after that, everything was so easy for Jace. The elevator man lifted the gun to smash it on Jace's head. Was that what it was for? Jace just darted under his arm and thrust with his knife. It went straight into the elevator man's heart. The elevator man screamed, but halfway through the scream, he stopped and fell down dead. His head in the elevator, his toes on the red bottom. Behind Jace, the whole mood of the crowd changed. This was different. Everybody was talking. The elevator man had been foolish, weak. Why, you couldn't have somebody like that running the elevator. It was a good thing Jace had killed him. Jace was a hero. Jace had the feeling they were all kissing up to him, but he didn't care. He was the elevator man now. Jace pushed the old man's body aside and stepped into his new home. He pushed the button and the big sliding doors closed. Only this time, it was his world that disappeared behind him. Alone, for the first time in his existence, Jace stood in the elevator that would take him to his wondrous new life. To the floor with the red hats, to the floor where people spoke backwards, to the floor where teeny women danced, bathed in a golden light. Thank you. There's just something I'd like to say to you all. Come to my gig next week. Me and Jan are doing a show. It's in Worcester. I know that's a long drive, but it's on the 28th. It's on Route 9, and I don't know if you guys know this, but on the 28th of each month, all the talent scouts from all the major record companies line up on Route 9, and they watch the cars drive by. And if they see somebody who looks like they have talent, they stop the car and sign it. No, this is true. Like, that's how you two got its start. They were actually, they're not from Ireland. They were going to a home show in Worcester. They just saw them and were like, "Hey, you guys look like you could be stars." And Bono's like, "No, I couldn't." He's like, "Yes, you can. And you too, and you too, and you too." So the way to get a gig, I'm serious, is to drive down Route 9 playing your tape in your car tape player with the windows open. You're laughing now, but I know you desperate fogies. The next time you're on Route 9, you're going to do this. You're going to be like, "Today, some music. Oh, my greatest hits. Gosh, it's hot. I'll just roll down the window." Some poor guy is going to be hitchhiking on Route 9 and like 5 feet up local seconds with out-of-date inspection stickers are going to run him over or something. Anyway, it's on the 28th. It's me and Jan. 2 hours of me and Jan. It's going to be fantastic. And if anybody's interested, I have a flyer with a picture of me and Jan French kissing on the cover. So talk to me later.
What an unabashed plug for a gig. Outrageous. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Raelinda, woad, give her a great hand.